Greg Benevent. I'm very happy to be joined today by my buddy Gordon here. How you doing, Gordon?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm
That's
doing good.
good.
So, if you could tell us a bit about who you are and what it is that you do here.
I'm Gordon Glassnow with CBC Cleaning and Construction. I'm in the cleaning department as director of cleaning.
I mean, that sounds very official. The director of cleaning. Tell us just a bit about what that entails. What is it that you do on a given day as the director of cleaning?
Well, we have a diverse cleaning crews that
Okay.
are specialties in carpet, upholstery,
Oh.
and stone cleaning.
Okay.
And we basically are there to take care of all your cleaning needs in any one of those services.
Gotcha. So you mentioned carpet cleaning. So I think one of the first things kind of head off the top of my head is like typically, how long does it take for the carpet to dry?
Well, we have several different methods of cleaning. The most thorough is
Okay.
our hot water extraction with truck mounts.
Oh.
And the typical drying time with basically a washing of the carpeting is less than 12 hours.
Okay.
Our goal is to try to get it dry in less than 8. So if we
Okay.
get in before noon, hopefully by the time it's ready for service, it's just damp to touch.
Wow. Okay. That is so much shorter than I thought it might be. Now you mentioned it being damp. I think people wonder. I've certainly wondered this. Can we walk on the carpet when it's still kind of wet or damp?
That's a common question. Yes, you can. We
Okay.
always try to point out that anytime you walk on any damp surface, it has a propensity to pick up soil better. So if you're going to walk on a fabric,
Okay.
a fiber,
Sure.
ideally if you're wearing clean slippers, socks, you're good to go.
Oh. Okay. Wow. That's good to hear.
Also, tracking
Please.
from a soiled surface onto the damp carpet is a problem. So
Ooh,
making
yeah.
sure that your feet are clean before you step onto the damp surface is ideal.
Oh, that's good advice. So, okay, so if there's any chance that my feet are maybe not 100% clean, don't walk onto the wet carpet then.
Drop the shoes and then walk.
Drop the shoes and then walk. That's good advice. That's good advice. Speaking of the cleaning of the carpet, like now, do you move people's furniture or do you just like clean around it?
Well, we can do either way. If we
Oh.
have a bedroom that's fully furnished and they're just typically looking at cleaning the areas that get used, we can
Okay.
do what we call an open area cleaning. That's all visible carpeted areas that we can get
Okay.
to. We can go underneath beds 3 to 6 inches around.
Wow.
If they choose to make sure that they want everything moved, knowing that all the dust that accumulates underneath the furniture gets done, we can do furniture moving also. We typically have a 2-man operation to make
Okay.
that service done safely without any possibility or hopefully eliminating the possibility of damage to the
Wow. Okay.
furniture.
I mean, that's great. I mean, that sounds like you have it. You kind of tailor it then the services towards the individual home, the property. Then.
Right. And their requirements. I mean, we have some people that wouldn't feel comfortable knowing they paid a cleaner not to do every square inch of carpet cleaning, including closets. So,
Wow.
and other people more inclined to just say, just do the areas that I can visually see, and we'll do the complete furniture moving the next service.
Wow, that's great. Okay, so you obviously you've mentioned a lot of like what goes into the cleaning with like the chemicals and the wetness and all that. Like, are those harmful to kids and pets or babies? Is there something that folks would have to worry about then, or what?
No, to be quite honest, the only difference between your laundry detergent and what we're using is our formulation is coming in higher contact with hot water sources or things
Huh.
that make us hot water.
Okay.
So there's just some agents that prevent it corroding or leaving plating out on our equipment, but it's completely rinsed out. We even use soft water, so there's not even the calcium deposit that's left behind when it does dry. So there's
Okay.
virtually no chemicals left in the carpet or fabric upholstery when we're done.
Wow, that is really comprehensive. That is, huh?
Our big,
Please.
our big cleaning agent that does the most work is heat. and we're washing
Oh,
the fiber
huh.
with heat. For every
Okay.
15-degree rise in temperature over
Hmm.
100 degrees, we're doubling the cleaning efficiency. So we're
Hmm.
typically cleaning on the actual carpet fiber at 160, 180 degrees.
Okay.
We don't have issues with shrinkage. In some
Oh.
cases, on a loose carpet, it may develop a little bit of fullness, and then
Hmm.
we'll settle back down when it's completely dry.
Huh. I guess I never realized that heat was such an important part of the business there. Yeah.
Well, if you've ever tried to clean your dishes with cold water and or with hot water, you'll notice the hot water works a lot better.
That is a good point. That's now that you put it that way. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. This is a question I was kind of wondering, and I feel like maybe you answered this on some level, but like it's just in all the things that you've told me so far. But how are the cleaning services that you offer different from maybe some of the other companies in the industry?
Well, there's 6 different cleaning methods that are used in our industry. There's
Okay.
to not go into complete dry foams, and there's capture methods. We're using dry compounds, and
Whoa.
the method that we're using is the most thorough. It is recommended by carpet manufacturers and fiber
Huh.
producers to be the most thorough. It's basically you're ending up with a complete washed and rinsed carpeting as opposed to just moving stuff around and trying to use shampoo and leaving soap residues.
Oh.
We
Okay.
also are working with, again, the higher heats,
Hmm.
not leaving chemical residues, and
Oh,
we run
geez.
a 2-man trained uh, technicians on site to help with furniture moving, which most companies typically use 1 man, which does put a lot of heavy wear and tear on the individual without some help.
I bet.
Yeah.
Wow. That's great that you help them out with that. That seems like that's better for everyone
2 men
involved.
are, in my opinion, it prevents burnout.
Yeah.
Plus, they're a little more happier to come in and accomplish their
Mm.
duties without being burned out. They're
Right.
not
Oh, yeah.
tired.
Without being solely
The
responsible for
the
everything. Yeah.
first of the day, the job we start, or
Uh-huh.
can end up, hopefully the same attitude is on the third job of the day.
Right. Right. Yeah. And that'd be so much easier with a literal partner, someone there
So
supporting you.
there is comfort with companionship.
Absolutely, absolutely. Speaking of comfort on that subject, I know some folks kind of wondering, like, hey, what can I do, to make things easier, make the process better before maybe you folks show up? Does it help if someone vacuums the carpet ahead of time? Are there other steps they can take to make things easier, or what's going on there?
Sure. Dry soil removal is always ideal.
Mm.
Pre, pre washing. If you wouldn't put a muddy or a dirty rug in your washing machine without shaking it out or vacuuming it first.
Well,
Uh,
that's true. Yeah.
dry soil removal.
Uh-huh.
Kids' toys,
Uh-huh.
breakables. If you do want furniture moved or feel that there's there's something in the way of a pathway in a hallway that can be moved,
Mm.
to prevent damage is always helpful.
Yeah.
Having small items and chairs maybe and trinkets that are possibly on the things that you want moved.
Mm.
The large furniture items is always
Okay.
appreciated.
Sure, 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 sure. And what's great about that is that sounds like those are kind of things folks could do in kind of just a few minutes. It's not like you got
Correct.
to prepare hours or days in advance or something.
That's correct. If they wanted, for example, a
Hmm.
bookshelf moved,
Yeah.
we ask that they remove the
Oh, yeah,
books.
well, that's that would make things a little bit easier. It's a 2-man crew, not a 20-man crew. So
That's
yes,
correct.
you remove the bookshelf. But it's now you folks do a lot more than just carpet cleaning though, too, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm the cleaning coordinator, but
Yeah.
the, uh, the company is mold, fire, smoke, complete restoration services on anything that basically can happen, from tear gas to pet removal and odors and so forth. So there's all kinds of services that we offer that seem to always, in one shape or form, come back to the cleaning division for the final um, post-construction cleaning and whatever to get it
Right.
so it's ready to basically occupy and move
Yeah.
in when the more extensive work is finished.
Right. Yeah. Because everyone wants eventually something to be clean. They're going to want that. Yeah, you folks clean tile too, right?
That's correct. Tile and stone.
Mm.
Mostly when people say tile, the tile is the least clean problem. It's more the grout, the things that they don't really
Ah,
want to clean themselves with
right.
down there with a toothbrush and hands and knees.
Oh, geez,
Uh,
yes. Oh, I've tried
but
that. It's terrible. Yeah.
but there's also we've evolved into complete restoration and stone, which travertine, marble, um, and granite countertops and flooring. So showers, the cleaning of the residues in showers and restoring fine stone in those showers to bring them back to as close to the way they were installed originally.
Wow. Wow. That's pretty great. Now, in terms of the tile cleaning itself, is that like what do you use in the tile cleaning? Like what are some of the materials there?
As far as cleaning, the grout cleaning and the tile and even stone, we're using the basic same equipment we would for cleaning a fabric like
Oh,
carpet, except
huh.
there's higher pressures. We're using
Oh.
uh, a chemical method of removing and loosening the soil,
Hmm.
and then we're washing. Basically, it's pressure washing. There's a special spinner that's
Uh-huh.
capturing the water that's being blasted and removed up into the vacuum. So the goal is
Wow.
not to leave any water on baseboards or anything any wood surfaces that may become in contact with the tile.
Wow.
So it's basically just a more extensive or more aggressive way of cleaning a hard surface than it would be with fabric.
Wow. Okay, I see. So it's similar, but in a way it's just maybe a little bit, like you said, more aggressive, more
More
assertive.
aggressive. That's correct.
Okay, so so in terms of the tile cleaning itself, like how long does it take that sealant to dry?
Well, when we're done, it's pretty much we wipe it up. It's ready to roll.
Hmm.
The sealants that we're applying are impregnating sealers. They penetrate,
Okay.
and then they take about 12 hours for them to cure and finally become ready to have extensive spills or whatever on them. But
Oh, okay.
just 12 hours for the product to cure.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like such a brief period of time for as you said, aggressive as this service is.
Well, in tile, if it's porcelain, it's tough. It's the same thing your
Mm,
toilet's made of.
right.
You can go after it with a pumice stone. It's very, very
Whoa.
hard. The grout is in the low spot. It's the most porous, and that's where typically
Mhm.
the tile starts looking its worst because the
Mm.
grout is the area that moves the soil with the mop into those surfaces.
Ah,
It's You're walking typically on the tile. You don't typically walk on the grout unless
right.
you have extremely wide grout joints.
Wow. Yeah, so speaking of, cleaning around those things, how do you clean next to the baseboards and tile cleaning?
Well, that again, it becomes a little closer. A lot of times, there's not a lot of buildup around
Hmm.
baseboards unless it's in a commercial facility, let's say a
Mm.
bathroom.
Okay.
That gets a lot more difficult surfaces, but it just means more on your hands and knees with brushes and then making sure that it's rinsed. And again, we're running the risk with wood baseboards not to over wet. So we have to be
Oh.
careful, and it's more one man hands on
Mm.
with agitation and then rinsing without over wetting.
Wow. I mean, that sounds like the kind of thing would take somebody with like real, experience and know-how, like real hands-on stuff to be able
Yeah,
to do that.
it's attention to the detail. The
Mm.
main traffic areas are the things that people will see initially,
Right.
but it's the details of areas that are in higher um, visible areas that if the
Uh-huh.
detail's not done correctly, that's the thing that basically spoils the
Right.
complete a
Yeah.
satisfaction of a job.
Exactly. It's just, yeah, there's one little thing, and it's but you folks take care of it, which is what's so great.
And we can
Now,
take care of all that.
now you've mentioned the brushes, you mentioned some of the impregnating sealer and all that. It's so what is like the rest of the equipment that might get used in tile cleaning?
With stone restoration, there's floor machines and different types of impregnated pads that we have that are
Hmm.
different different degrees of harshness, if you will, like a sandpaper. It
Mm.
starts out a little coarse, and then you go lighter and finer and finer and finer to get the degree of reflectivity. Basically, just means shine.
Wow.
Uh,
Never heard
and
that
then,
word before. I love that.
yeah,
Reflectivity.
reflectivity,
Reflectivity.
big word.
I like it.
So when it comes to stones, we're using floor machines that are designed to agitate and polish. And then, of course, the truck mount is brought in with the high pressure water and the spinner
Okay.
to rinse everything out and get all the low surfaces that the agitation and polishing pads don't get.
Okay. I think you might have touched on this, but I mean, just to make it clear for folks, like what difference will they most likely be able to see in the grout after the cleaning?
Well, most people, I always look as I'm doing an estimate or talking with a customer, is looking at the edges that don't get worn, that don't get the mop, that basically are not typically prone to soil buildup, and looking for the color of that grout. And our goal when we come in is to try to get the high traffic areas in the same general color that the grout that doesn't get used. So
Oh,
it's more
wow.
the original color. So
Okay.
our goal is to try to achieve the color that doesn't get walked on, to try to make it a uniform appearance when we're complete.
Wow. That would be, I imagine that's a striking difference in a lot of cases.
Usually makes a huge difference, and people have forgotten what the color of the grout was.
Wow. Okay. You mentioned the agitation and you mentioned the cleaning. Like what is like the main cleaning agents or some of the primary cleaning agents that you use when cleaning tile and grout?
Well, it's a more aggressive on an alkaline level. It's more aggressive than it would be on a fabric like carpet. So it's designed to be more a grease breaking down agent that softens the soil. And then, of course, with our high pressure washing in hot water, it's basically completely washing that soil out of those porous surfaces. So it does a
Wow.
really amazing job. Again, the products that's being used is being washed away, and all the muck ends up in the truck. So
Oh,
there's nothing
geez.
to be concerned about with health or
Hey.
pets or
Yeah.
if somebody is let's just say chemical intolerant, even perfumes bother them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We ask that if they would like to step into a more ventilated area in the house,
okay.
or take a lunch, or
Yeah, just
so they're not exposed to that during the cleaning process. But when we're done, there is no product left behind other than the impregnating sealer, which is odorless.
wow. Wow. Okay. So, I mean, that's great. That seems like that's exactly what folks would want. So, okay. So, say someone, you come in, you clean the towel, the towel that they didn't walk on looks like the towel that they do. How often should somebody have you come back to keep that up? How often should they get their towel cleaned?
Well, with carpet, we say manufacturers recommend 12 to 18 months for
Okay.
carpet maintenance to keep warranties in force. With carpet, with tile and stone, they typically know when they can see the difference between the edge of the cabinets where the
Right.
flooring is and the areas that we call the triangle,
Okay.
the refrigerator, the sink, and of course the cooktop. Those surfaces is the areas that they notice they are not getting clean. It's not, the mop's not working, and they look to another area that doesn't get that triangle wear pattern, and it's time.
Right.
And we don't necessarily have to do everything in the home. We can just focus on the kitchen access and egress areas
Gotcha.
to those areas that we can take, and we can keep their cleaning maintenance schedule less costly
Wow.
by just doing areas every, let's just say 2 to 3 years, depending on the
Jeez.
amount of soil that's generated.
Wow, that sounds very helpful. That's exactly when folks can rely on that to keep their place looking as they'd like.
Well, they say that flooring is their third largest investment. It's usually house, automobile, and flooring.
Huh.
They spend a lot of money on it. But the
Yeah,
bottom line,
I bet.
if you can maintain and keep it, again, there's certain issues you just get tired of the color and you want to make a big change.
Right.
If it's tile and stone, those are usually put in with the idea it's going to go 25, 30, 35 years.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
hopefully they picked a color that stays modern enough to go with different colors in walls and furniture. But the whole idea is to keep that expensive investment serviceable and looking good.
Right, which is exactly what you folks can do. Speaking of sizable investments that folks make in their house that you can clean, you folks clean upholstery as well, right?
That's correct. All fabric is, you think about it's being exposed to the same type of products that your clothing does. I mean,
right.
it's oils, it's
Yeah.
perspiration, it's all kinds of things. The soil that you generate on your clothes. We've even had people that have bought new jeans and sat on a white sofa and crocking, it's called. The actual color has walked onto the
Oh,
white.
jeez.
So those are things that we can correct.
Oh,
Usually,
man.
somebody puts a wet product that has a bleeder, let's say a fabric that's red and it gets wet and sets
Sure.
it on it. Different spills, of course. And it's usually in the homes where the customer noticed that the upholstery is in need of cleaning. It's,
Whoa.
of course, the cushions, and most people are right-handed.
Right.
So it's the right hand
Oh,
of the
yeah,
sofa
and it looks
that they
different than
notice
the other-
starts to look the worst, and we can come in. Again, it doesn't have to be that we have to clean all the cushions and clean the entire base. We can get away with just doing certain arms. We don't have to necessarily do all of it. But
Right.
there's a lot of different fabrics. It's really important and imperative that we know what we're cleaning and how we're going to clean it, because there's certain fabrics that were not ever meant to be wet cleaned, and we need to. Our technicians are qualified enough to not make that bad choice with
Gotcha.
with a fabric that should not be wet cleaned.
Right. No, that makes all the sense in the world, and how important that is to have folks with that experience coming in to do that. And, speaking of, you did mention the wet cleaning and all that, like or just the cleaning of upholstery in general. Now, how long does, I mean, obviously things probably be different, but like how long on average does it take like upholstery to dry?
That's another one that's really important, that drying be accomplished in a more rapid fashion. We try to do, if we're going to be called out for multiple services, we try to do upholstery first, because it's imperative that we get it in either sunlight or some air movement to try to get it dry as quick as possible.
Okay.
Usually dry times are, again, we're saying under 8 hours.
Okay.
Ideally.
Wow.
We will prop them up and teepee the cushions so they are allowed to dry, and that we're not encapsulating the moisture and letting it slow the drying process down.
Gotcha. No, that's it. That still sounds like not, I mean, 8 hours is a long time, but it's really not. I mean, when it comes to stuff like that.
Correct, yeah.
Now, you folks, do you use Scotch Guard? And if so, like, does that really help the process, or
Yeah,
what's the story there?
most fabrics, in fact, when you buy a furniture, they're always selling these add-ons
Okay.
for the upholstery protection. It is usually a standard policy with the fabric being manufactured before it even goes into the upholstery furniture. It does have a treatment on it, and carpets also have applied when they're new and manufactured. They have that application on it. They're pretty darn tough. The things that will remove them are abrasion, just heavy wear and tear,
Okay.
and also heavy spotting agents that are designed to remove heavy soil. So it's always a great idea, and very recommended, that we recommend putting the Scotch Guard treatment on all upholstery, which is usually included with our service for upholstery. With carpet, we recommend at least doing the heavy traffic areas, hallways, stairs, and basically traffic patterns
Gotcha.
that need the reapplication to bring it back to their factory repellency.
That makes so much sense. You'd want to focus with places where you can use the most, to restore them to how
Correct.
they used to be.
That may have worn off, yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, it seems so customized to different things. I was wondering, is there like a different process that you use for, say, linen furniture or velvet furniture or different kinds of furniture?
Absolutely. And it's, with experience, we've learned there's certain fabrics that were never designed to be cleaned. Velvets are depending on how they're manufactured, they can be with a V weave or a W, which And there's certain fabrics when cleaned, if it's cleaned incorrectly, you will see every wand mark on it. It needs to be groomed and set in a certain way while it's drying.
Wow.
With linen, again, there's sometimes colors that can bleed. We get these tapestries that'll have a bunch of multicolors that one of the little wings of the sparrow, all of a sudden now it has a nice little green glow around it. It wasn't stable, and again, it's been cleaned and it bleeds.
Oh man.
We've been successful at repairing and correcting those problems, but it does pay to have a skilled and trained technician to be able to figure out the correct way to clean those.
I bet. Speaking of the correct way to clean those, clean different things, with someone has a sofa or maybe something with like removable cushions, is it possible to like clean the frame, to clean the cushions as well, with a piece of furniture like that?
Well, we have some people that are trying to save money and they'll take the cushion out, the actual stuffing out of the cushion, the foam, and they'll wash it. And very seldom they're able to get it back over the cushion without breaking the zipper. It never looks the same. It's ideal that a professional comes out and really cleans it when it's got the actual backing of the foam to help. And we can work on welts and we can clean specific areas without having to just wash the whole thing and have it shrink and never be able to put it back in the actual position it was before they pulled it apart.
Gotcha. I think, some of the questions people might have, I think this is one of the more popular ones. Is it possible to remove stains from cat urine in cushions? Is that possible?
Well, it's mostly not the stain. We do get some white cotton fabrics that can leave a urine ring. The yellow urochrome in the urine can sometimes set on a cotton and be very difficult, if not impossible, to remove the stain without damaging the fabric.
Oh, wow.
But the more difficult portion is getting it out of the cushion. Wherever urine goes, your cleaning is not going to remove that because you're not cleaning the cushion. So a lot of cases, the cushion has to be replaced. But we have gotten similar.
When disaster strikes, you need a team you can trust. That's why you should call CBC first. CBC offers state-of-the-art carpet cleaning services tailored to your needs. Traffic and exposure to dirt can vary greatly in a residential setting, but our expert technicians know how to handle it all.
Sounds intensive. It also sounds like that's what has to be done.
Hello, guys.
Hey, it's CBC. We're here to take care of your carpet and flooring cleaning today.
Awesome, guys, come in. Whether your home is bustling with kids and pets or it's a quiet sanctuary, we've got you covered. Our advanced cleaning techniques will leave your carpets fresh and vibrant, making your home feel brand new again. From sofas to office furniture, CBC specializes in upholstery cleaning.
I know I say that every time, but I learned so much here.
Certified technicians are experts in textile identification and cleaning methods, ensuring your furniture gets the care it deserves.
Take it easy. Have a good
We clean sofas, love seats, recliners, stuffed chairs, dining room chairs, ottomans, car and RV interiors, patio cushions, work cubicles.